Live. I don't know who if to invite anybody, but let's do it. Let's share maybe with some people. Maybe. Let's see if anybody will just come back. Well, what I'm doing right now is I am toning the canvas, so it's not going to be a long live, couple minutes, but I love to tone my canvas before I do any painting. Sometimes when I do plein air, I do leave it white, but this is a standard canvas bought from Michaels, so it's a 30 by 30. I'm gonna tone it for a portrait that I'm gonna do live next week, and next Sunday I hope to go here and do a live on the portrait. I do try to keep it as I try to keep it as unified as possible. So I'm probably gonna put a couple coats on it. I like to use acrylic. Acrylic goes dries faster, and you can always paint over with oils over acrylic. So I do use water soluble oils, which sounds funny for somebody that's never heard of them, because how does water mix with oil? But it does. They made a polymer, and one side of the polymer connects with water, the other one with oil. So you can do oil paint. I do like to paint every edge, tone every edge of my painting so even the edges are the same color. I find the white canvas to be kind of boring, and it doesn't unify the painting process as much. So that's how my canvases happen. I start toning with a color. I try to use as big a brush as I can. I guess there's a couple people watching, so it's not so bad. Hello, ABC Banks, AC Banks. Hi, how you doing? So I do a lot of plein air painting. I do paint outside, but I also like to do like portraiture. I like to do figurative painting. I like to do drawing of figure. I used to run a studio, and we used to do a lot of figure studies with live models. I had this stretcher for a long, long time, so I'll flip it around. There's no reason why not to. And people do get really scared about working, and they freak out over paint, but it is just paint. It's whatever you do with the paint that counts. So if you like painting, it is just paint. Everything, I figured a while ago that everything that you do with your art is abstract. No painting is no painting is realistic. And why I say that everything is abstract, because it is you take three-dimensional objects and you make them two-dimensional. So if you take a brush like that, if you take a jar like that with paint, it is three-dimensional, but when you put it on canvas, it's going to be two-dimensional. So you have to just look at what it is. I mean, your the colors will change as you progress away from light towards the light. If you put it next to something like the white, this will be more grayish or maybe greenish grayish because the light bounces, and this will be more white. So all the colors are, everything depends on you. And also, if you're painting it, just look at what shapes you have. It doesn't really matter what you're painting. If it's a face, if it's a person, if it's a building, just look at the shapes. When you figure out what shapes there are, you're gonna have the object. So I'll try to bring it in a little darker. I am doing this is just toning. I am gonna draw the figure. If you look at my past videos, I do have a drawing of my son that I started. So I'm gonna do that on this 30 by 30 canvas. A drawing like that should take, a painting like that should take probably about an hour, hour and a half. But I do not have time to do it today, so we do have some parties to go to, birthday parties for some kids. So I'm just gonna pretty much leave it like that till it dries, and then I'm gonna do a drawing with oil, with my water soluble oils. I really like those paints. The best one probably are Duo. It's New Duo Aqua Oil. They don't smell as much. You can use oils with them, you can use water with them. I found them really helpful with plein air painting, because sometimes you run out of oil and then or turpentine, but you always have access to water. So the water solubles, they act like they're very similar with oils, and you can always mix them with regular oils. If you would like to see more of my paintings, you can go to my website. It's in the link in my bio. Well, I'm gonna let this dry and gain some, and then after that I can start painting, drawing with oil, and start on the portrait. This is just a regular canvas from Michaels. I found that I used to build canvases, and I can show you guys how to build canvases in the future, and of all sizes. The biggest I probably built was 10 by 6 feet. So you can work in any size canvas you want, and the paintings are great. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next live. If you have any questions, you can ask them on my TikTok, and I hope this will be a fun project, showing you guys how I work on portraits and how portraits are done. This is acrylic with acrylic paint. I used basic acrylic from Dick Blick. So this is tallow green pint of the green tallow. Just not very expensive, but for like gessoing canvas, you don't really need anything that's expensive. Really expensive paint. I save the expensive paint for highlights. There's some paints that cost $70 a little tube, and just wasting it kind of for the whole canvas. I think it's kind of a waste. But what counts in a painting is the highlights and what you can get from those. So the painting shouldn't be, I don't think, if you throw too much on it, then it's hard to read for the viewer. But if you're just use the highlights sparingly, it will be a lot more interesting. So if you guys would like to see more of the lives or see more of my work, follow and like, and I'll see you guys next time. I wish I knew how to finish this. And this. So yeah, I did the edges. So the whole thing just has to dry right now. So it will